Welcome to Transform 24 Hips and Seat. If you haven't already, go back and check out the introduction video so that you can learn why this workout is so effective. I wanted to show you here how I am exaggerating the moves. This is like a normal arabesque that we would do without our hips tucked under. And this is the range of motion that we would normally have. This feels normal for most people, but it puts a little strain on the back. But when you tuck those hips under, just like we taught in the introduction video, your range of motion will decrease significantly. And here I'm showing you our first move, and this literally is the range of motion that you'll be doing. Very, very small. Very small. Showing you this move from a different angle, I want you to see the details here. Tilt your pelvis up as far as you possibly can. Tuck that tailbone under. Then you're going to bend your knee and you're going to bring your bent knee up as far as you can until you feel the muscles engaged. Tilt your knee toward the ceiling, and then you are going to gently pulse that toe down toward the mat, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, no more than that. I should note that I am pulsing every other bounce. So we're going to do 50 total pulses for every move. All right, now starting with our first move here, we're going to be doing the left side, an arabesque, where we will be pulsing toward the floor, just like I showed you in the demonstration. So make sure your pelvis is tucked under, that your knee is pointed toward the ceiling, and that pulse with your toe is toward the mat. You'll notice that my shoulders are rounded here. That is because in rounding my upper back, believe it or not, that helps me to tuck my tailbone under even more. Don't forget, this is not a large move. Just 1/4 to 1/2 inch here is all you need to engage those glutes. Once you've got your hips in position, you're going to put your left leg to the side. You want to make sure that you don't over-rotate inward or outward with your hip, but that your hips are directly parallel. And once they are parallel, you want to then point your toe toward the floor and kind of rotate your toe toward the mat. So hips are parallel, but your toe should be slightly turned downward toward the mat, and you're just going to raise that leg 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Again, my shoulders are rounded because this is going to help me to really tuck that tailbone under. That is where the magic happens. The range of motion is incredibly small here, incredibly small, but you can feel those deep muscles really start to engage. I want to mention here that if any time you have knee pain, just straighten your supporting leg or untuck your hips. All right, now we're going to do the arabesque, but we're going to do a slightly different angle. Rather than pulse toward the mat, we are going to pulse our toe toward the ceiling. So make sure your form is perfect here. Your tailbone is tucked under as far as you possibly can go. And when you do this, your range of motion is going to decrease significantly. You want to make sure that knee is bent, that you first bring your knee to the side until you feel the muscle engage, and then turn your knee toward the ceiling. And lastly, that pointed toe is going to pulse toward the ceiling about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. It's a very subtle move, but trust me, my legs are exhausted by this point. You are gonna love the results of this. Now, to completely burn out the hips and seat, we are going to apply a little kick. So remember, Tuck the tailbone under, bend that knee, bring your knee to the side, the bent leg to the side until you feel the muscles engage. And then in that arabesque position, you are going to just flick that toe straight behind you. And this is going to really burn out, again, the hamstrings, the hips, and the thighs. Wow, that was intense. That was truly intense. Notice how I have to wipe the sweat off my face. We're gonna do the other side. Don't forget to tuck the tailbone under. You're gonna get sick of me saying that. Bend your knee, engage the muscles until you feel resistance, point the knee toward the ceiling, and then you're going to pulse that toe toward the mat 1/4 to 1/2 inch. We're gonna do 50 on this side, just like we did on the other side. Now we're gonna get to our leg lift. Tuck the tailbone under. Make sure your leg is straight, toe pointed. The most important thing here is to keep those hips parallel. Don't over rotate. All you want to do is slightly turn that toe down toward the mat. And that is going to give you the angle that you need to really get toward that corner of your back behind. And then you're going to apply just a gentle pulse, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch here. You should really feel your muscles engage with this. And it's funny because it looks like I'm doing nothing, but I assure you, I am sweating bullets here. Getting ready for the arabesque with a different angle. Make sure that tailbone is tucked under. You're going to bend your knee, and then you're going to lift your thigh until you feel the muscles slightly engage. Then you're going to turn your knee toward the ceiling and then pulse that toe rather than toward the mat, toward the ceiling, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And I constantly have to remind myself to tuck under here. It's gonna feel really strange. And notice my back is rounded. This is the only time I'm gonna tell you that you need a slightly rounded posture. Normally we hear in exercise that we should have as straight of a back as possible. But here, by rounding the shoulders, what this allows me to do is to really tuck the tailbone under. That is the key. Are you sick of me saying that yet? Ready to completely burn out those glutes? All right. Get your hips into position. You're going to bend your knee, lift that bent knee up to the side until you feel the muscles engaged. Turn the knee toward the ceiling. And now that bent toe is just going to kick straight back in little flicks. One thing to note here is that the kicks are every other bounce, if that helps you. Wow, you did it. I am so proud of you because this work is intense. It's probably new movements that you have never done before. But I assure you, if you keep up this work, you are going to change your hips and your seat. Now, to really just shake out the tension, watch my feet here. I'm just doing a hip shake from side to side to really work out that lower back and to take out the tension in the hips and the hamstrings. And now I'm just grabbing the side of the mat. I love to do this stretch and just feel a gentle stretch in the back of your hamstrings. Slowly, slowly tuck your tailbone under and roll up. You did it. I'll see you in the next video.